Donald Trump has done it again. He has won the 2024 U.S. presidential election, marking a stunning comeback after his defeat in 2020. This victory is unprecedented in American history. Never before has a former president returned to the White House after losing an election. Trump's win has sent shockwaves across the nation and the world. It signifies a deep political divide and raises questions about the future of American democracy. Trump's supporters are ecstatic. They see his victory as a win for the common man, a rejection of the political establishment. They believe Trump will bring back jobs, secure the border, and restore America's standing in the world. His critics, however, are filled with dread. They fear Trump will further divide the country, damage democratic institutions, and isolate America from its allies. The coming months will be crucial. The world will be watching closely as Trump assembles his cabinet and outlines his agenda. Will he moderate his tone and policies in his second term, or will he double down on the rhetoric and actions that characterized his first presidency? Only time will tell. His first term was marked by significant controversy and bold decisions that left a lasting impact on the nation. Supporters are hopeful that his return will bring about the changes they have long awaited. Critics, however, remain vigilant, concerned about the potential consequences of his policies. As America stands at this crossroads, the world watches with bated breath, anticipating the next chapter in this unfolding political saga. One of the most significant aspects of Trump's presidency will be his impact on the U.S. economy. His tenure has sparked intense debate and analysis from both supporters and critics alike. Trump's supporters argue that his policies, such as tax cuts and deregulation, will lead to economic growth and job creation. They believe that reducing government intervention allows businesses to thrive and innovate. They point to the pre-pandemic economy under Trump, which saw record-low unemployment rates and a booming stock market. These indicators, they claim, are proof of the effectiveness of his economic strategies. Trump's critics, however, argue that his policies primarily benefit the wealthy and corporations while doing little for the middle class and the poor. They highlight the struggles of everyday Americans who did not see the same benefits. They point to the growing income inequality and the national debt, which ballooned under Trump's watch. Critics argue that these issues could have long-term negative effects on the economy. The truth, as always, is likely somewhere in between. Both sides present compelling arguments, but the full impact of Trump's policies may take years to fully understand. The economy is a complex system, affected by a multitude of factors beyond the control of any one president. Global events, technological advancements, and consumer behavior all play significant roles. However, there is no doubt that Trump's policies will have a significant impact, for better or for worse. The legacy of his economic decisions will be debated for years to come. Beyond the economy, Trump's domestic agenda remains largely a mystery. He has given few specifics about his plans for healthcare, education, or infrastructure. However, based on his previous statements and actions, we can make some educated guesses. Trump is likely to continue his efforts to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, although it remains to be seen if he will have the political capital to do so. He has also promised to invest in infrastructure, but it is unclear how he will fund these projects. On social issues, Trump is likely to continue to court his conservative base. He has already signaled his intention to appoint more conservative judges to the Supreme Court, which could have a lasting impact on issues such as abortion and LGBTQ+ rights. Trump's foreign policy is likely to be as unpredictable and unconventional as his domestic agenda. Trump has made it clear that he believes in putting America first, even if it means alienating allies or undermining international institutions. During his first term, Trump withdrew the United States from the Trans-Pacific Partnership Trade Agreement, the Paris Agreement on Climate Change, and the Iran nuclear deal. He also imposed tariffs on goods from China and other countries, sparking trade wars. It remains to be seen whether Trump will continue these policies in his second term. However, his past actions suggest that he is not afraid to go it alone on the world stage, even if it means jeopardizing America's global standing. Section 5. The Art of the Deal returns. Trump and international relations. Trump's approach to international relations is often characterized by his belief in deal-making and his willingness to use unconventional tactics. He has shown a preference for bilateral agreements over multilateral institutions and has not hesitated to use tariffs and sanctions as bargaining chips. Trump's relationships with foreign leaders have been equally unpredictable. He has clashed with traditional allies like Canada and Germany, while cozying up to authoritarian leaders like Russia's Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un. It remains to be seen how these relationships will evolve in Trump's second term. However, one thing is certain: Trump's approach to international relations will continue to keep the world guessing. Section 6. Trump's leadership strength or tyranny. Trump's supporters often cite his leadership as one of his strongest assets. They admire his decisiveness, his willingness to challenge the status quo, and his unapologetic patriotism. They see him as a strong leader who is not afraid to make tough decisions. Trump's critics, however, view his leadership style with alarm. They see him as impulsive, narcissistic, and authoritarian. They point to his attacks on the media, his disregard for democratic norms, and his willingness to bend the truth to fit his narrative. Trump's leadership style is certainly unconventional. He is not afraid to break the mold or to court controversy. Whether this is ultimately a strength or a weakness remains to be seen. Section 7. Divided we stand: social and political divides under Trump. One of the most concerning aspects of Trump's presidency has been the deepening of social and political divisions in the United States. These divisions have manifested in various ways, from heated debates to large-scale protests. Trump's rhetoric and policies have often been divisive, pitting Americans against each other along racial, ethnic, religious, and ideological lines. His speeches and tweets have frequently stirred controversy and heightened tensions. Trump's supporters argue that he is simply reflecting the divisions that already exist in American society. They feel that he is a voice for the voiceless, bringing attention to issues that have long been ignored. They believe that he is giving voice to those who have been ignored by the political establishment. Many of his supporters see him as a champion of their values and a defender of their way of life. Trump's critics, however, argue that he is actively exacerbating these divisions for his own political gain. They believe that his approach is not just reflective, but also inflammatory. They point to his history of making racist and sexist remarks, which they argue have further polarized the nation. His attacks on immigrants and Muslims, which have sparked widespread protests and condemnation from various groups, and his efforts to sow doubt about the legitimacy of the electoral process. This has led to a significant erosion of trust in democratic institutions and processes. Section 8. Healthcare in the balance. Trump's impact on the Affordable Care Act. The Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, has been a lightning rod for controversy since its passage in 2010. Trump has repeatedly vowed to repeal and replace the ACA, but so far he has been unsuccessful. Trump's efforts to undermine the ACA have had a real impact on Americans' access to health care. Millions of Americans have lost their health insurance, and premiums have risen for many. It remains to be seen what Trump will do with health care in his second term. However, his past actions suggest that he is determined to dismantle the ACA, even if it means leaving millions of Americans without health insurance. Section 9. Immigration overhaul: Trump's wall and beyond. Immigration has been a defining issue of Trump's presidency. Trump campaigned on a promise to build a wall along the US-Mexico border and to crack down on illegal immigration. He has also implemented policies that make it more difficult for people to legally immigrate to the United States. Trump's supporters argue that his tough stance on immigration is necessary to protect American jobs and security. They believe that he is simply enforcing the law and putting America's interests first. Trump's critics, however, argue that his policies are cruel, inhumane, and counterproductive. They point to the separation of families at the border, the detention of asylum seekers in inhumane conditions, and the demonization of immigrants. Section 10. The world reacts: global perspectives on a Trump presidency. Donald Trump's presidency has been met with a mixture of shock, disbelief, and apprehension around the world. Trump's America First policies, his unpredictable behavior, and his disdain for international norms have alienated many of America's traditional allies. Trump's supporters argue that he is simply standing up for America's interests, and that the world needs to get used to a more assertive United States. Trump's critics, however, worry that he is damaging America's reputation abroad and undermining the global order. They fear that his actions will lead to a more unstable and dangerous world. Section 11. The future under Trump, uncertainty and apprehension. Donald Trump's second term as President of the United States promises to be as tumultuous and unpredictable as his first. The world watches with bated breath, uncertain of what the future holds. Will Trump moderate his tone and policies, seeking to heal the divisions he has sown? Or will he double down on his divisive rhetoric and actions, further polarizing the nation and the world? Only time will tell what legacy Trump will leave on America and the world. However, one thing is certain, the next 4 years will be anything but boring.